Sorry. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Okay.
Look, you can see it right there.
Well, welcome to episode 116.
Autumnal Equinox. Join us as we dive into the astronomical factors of an autumnal equinox,
as well as the ways in which we as witches rest in balance.
Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Witchy Wit podcast, where we look at life through a witchy lens. I'm Kimberlyn.
I'm Leilani.
At Witchy Wit, we explore current events,
Ideas,
music and books,
and experiences in ways that recognize energy and life in every body and everything.
We are both real witches.
And we bring two real perspectives through the lens of our different ages,
races,
and backgrounds.
With a healthy skepticism for what we have been told is true, our conversations are raw, candid, and vulnerable.
Join us as we cast a spell to uncover what we each know is true in our intuitive, witchy selves.
Welcome to episode 116.
Autumnal Equinox.
A wonderful topic for me. I love the idea of seasons changing, even in South Texas.
And this is one of my favorites.
Oh,
too,
yay.
so.
Good. So, and speaking of autumn, I'd like to talk a little bit. I'd like to check in on being in the autumn of my life.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, I'm in a couple of groups. In a lot of the groups, I'm on boards, and obviously I just retired from teaching, where in the classroom, I was pretty much the oldest person in the classroom. On the board, there's a lot of people my age, and it's great working with them. It's, great people throughout our town and the county, and in some cases, various states, not just local. But there's one group that I organize. It's one of the witch camps that has become very dear to my heart. I was on the, I'm on the organizing team, and we invented it actually. We created it, and at this camp and on this organizing team, I am the distinct oldest person. I mean,
Wow.
Yeah, I would say the youngest person in the group is 40 years younger than me.
Wow.
Yeah. So in the organizing team, and then, varying ages, whatever, in the camp. And one of the things I've had to kind of confront is the idea of being an elder. And the beauty of it is that in the dominant culture, being an elder is being a senior citizen, or being an old person, or being elderly, which is a different type of connotation. But among these communities, there is a reverence and a sweetness in the way they treat, and they tend to treat elders. And I resisted it because I was kind of firmly embedded in this idea of I'm independent, I don't need people to take care of me, etc. And one of the things that one of the people said to me is, you realize that you are doing me a favor when you allow me to do this for you. And it never occurred to me, on a certain level, I might have paid lip service to it, but when I sat with that, I just thought there's a beauty to that I still haven't fully come to terms with, and I'm going to continue to explore. But I had a meeting with them today, and just the way the way they treat each other, treat everyone, and then the way they treat me is just really, really sweet and heartwarming, and it makes me want to delve more into the ways in which we can show respect to various people. It doesn't just have to be elders. It could be young people, the different ways in which our culture does not encourage us to respect and show reverence for various people in various times of their lives. So anyway, that's something that I've just been thinking about. What about you?
Well, I tried a new recipe out this weekend, and I particularly like trying certain recipes that are, there's a certain person I follow on social media that they try recipes that they see other people try on social media. It's like, we're getting really like meta here, but like they do it and they say, okay, so they make it look easy. they make it look delicious. Is it easy and is it delicious? So it's like a review of a review, which I really like. So his review of the review was that it was easy and delicious. So I was like, easy, delicious, and high protein and low carb. So I was like, yes, please. This sounds great. So I tried it, and it was an utter disaster. It was so bad. And like, so I was making this like flour tortilla out of Greek yogurt and flour, and I like spread it out, and then I put the mixture on the tortilla thing, and then you're supposed to like fold it in to make these like hockey puck, like portable hot pocket type things. And I like fold it over, and then I lift it up, and it just totally falls through. So,
on a table, I hope?
Yes, on my counter.
Okay.
On my counter. But like, I guess either the stuff was too hot or too liquidy. I don't know. But he didn't warn me about this. And I felt very betrayed. Because I go to him for the truth.
For the truth, yeah. And it's, I can imagine.
And then I made panna cotta, which was for the first, so first of all, I had panna cotta for the first time at my favorite restaurant in town, because it was Culinaria Restaurant Week. So I always try to go during restaurant week. And so I was like, this is great. I'm going to learn how to make this at home. Turns out it's pretty easy. But I made it with coconut milk, and it separated into two layers.
Yeah.
But at this fancy restaurant, it didn't separate into two layers. So
was that made with coconut milk?
It was, but it was also made by like a culinary like chef who's like awesome and been to culinary school. I have not. My Hot Pockets fall apart in the kitchen, so I have to figure that out.
May I chime in
on
some of this? Because it just sparked, it's just so, it's not wonderful hearing that that your shit fell out on the counter, but it's nice hearing that, you're experimenting and trying these different things. And what happens is later you will learn, okay, when I have this much yogurt, it's going to be too wet. You know what I mean? This is often it's, what is it? Try and see, experiment. Try and see or whatever. And then you figure out what's right for you, regardless of what they say and what you see. Because you will have developed a sense of, you will touch it. Like, it's like I don't know about your mother, but my mother would say, oh yeah, you just throw in like a pinch of this. Like, what the hell?
What's a pinch?
And then she says, unless it's summertime, because then your flour's moister. Like, how would I don't know. How do you know the flour's moist? But she does it by touch. And eventually when you have a couple of go-to recipes, you'll be making it up, and you say, oh, I need to add a little bit more flour because it's too moist or it's too dry or whatever. And but it's so wonderful seeing you at kind of the beginning of that journey. It's like, beginning. What the hell happened? I don't know.
It's all on the counter. I have no idea.
Did you scrape it up and throw it in the pan and cook it
anyway?
Yeah,
I did, because I'm not going to waste all that food.
Good girl. That's all. That's what I wanted to know. It's like, did you still manage to get something edible out of it?
And it was delicious.
It was delicious.
And my partner came in, and I was like, this is what it looks like. It's supposed to look like this. But it didn't, so.
It was a casserole.
Yep.
When in doubt, make it a casserole.
It was like an open face Hot Pocket casserole situation. Frittata. Something. I don't know. But it was still delicious.
Okay,
it's
good.
Fine.
Good. I'm glad. Well, I'm so glad. And may I just chime in on a check-in that you made, I think, about 4 years ago when you talked about not cooking?
Yes, I did.
How far you have come where you're kind of doing like meta recipes and trying, and it's like, okay, let's keep going with this. Like I can still make this an edible meal or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's courage.
Thank you.
And more experience.
Listen, I'm not afraid to mess things up, whether it be pottery, my recipes, or building my retaining wall backwards. And if you want more information on that, dear listener, you can go back and listen to our other episodes where I tell you about all the times I mess up.
And that's so wonderful that because that takes a bold personality, and it takes not only a bold personality, but then someone who can kind of salvage something. I was like, okay, now didn't your friend come and you like totally rebuild the wall, or what happened with that?
I love that that's the version that you remember. No, it's still built backwards. It's just sitting there unfinished and backwards.
Well, just call me. I'll be over. We'll work that. We'll work that magic, or at least I'll hold the energy for the container.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Working magic that's a good transition into the autumnal equinox.
Yes, let's talk about the autumnal equinox. Yes. Yeah, so this is a part of our Wheel of the Year series, and we've done a number of different episodes on that, and hopefully you can go back and listen to some of those if you haven't already. But we figured that now it's time. This is one of the seasons, one of the the feasts or Sabbats that I really enjoy. For a number of different reasons.
And it's definitely one of my favorites. And just if you haven't listened to our other episodes about the Wheel of the Year, but the really short explanation is that considering that time is not instead linear, but instead circular or like a spiral, and that we're constantly making our way around that circle or spiral. And if you divide it into, if you put like an X over it, the top and the bottom, and then the side to side, we have the equinoxes and the solstices.
Yeah. So that's the solar division of the year, and then we have the spots that go around it. So yeah,
can you tell that I only focus on the solar division? And then there's that other stuff too.
It's there's Beltane, Samhain.
But I really like the equinoxes and the solstices.
Is it because they're more natural?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the sun is where the sun is.
Yes.
And you can dance out under it or whatever.
Yes.
Whereas the other, you kind of have to what's the day where it's halfway between what and what? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the equinox. So first off, let me just a little bit of background information for people. I don't mean to be insulting, and I'm sure everyone knows a lot of this, but just to kind of make sure we're all on the same page. The autumnal equinox, some people for some reason call it the September. I guess because it happens in September, but to me, we don't have to worry about that. Anyway, is also called the southward equinox. I've heard that term too, and that's the moment when the sun appears to cross the celestial equator.
Oh wow!
So,
okay.
And heading southward. And so, because of the difference in between the calendar year, so the January 1st year, and then the actual year as it unfolds naturally, the tropical year, the equinox can fall anywhere between September 21st to 24th. Though generally it tends to be the 22nd, 23rd. Okay? And so it marks the start of the astronomical fall in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yay!
Though we're in South Texas, so...
That just means it's like in the lower 100s.
That's right. It's more of a concept than anything else. But it means that there's help on the way. And then the astronomical spring in the Southern Hemisphere. And so the idea is that at this point of the year, the axis, the sun going over the axis is neither tilted towards or away from the sun. And so theoretically, it results in nearly equal lengths of day and night, of darkness and daylight. Yeah.
I love that so much.
I know. And so this year it's going to be September 22nd. And this is another thing, is that everyone talks about the day, but it's really just a moment, a couple of minutes in time, right, when the sun actually does the crossing. And so it's September 22nd, 2025 at 1 p.m. in Texas. So in the Northern Hemisphere, the Central Time Zone. Okay, so
19 p.m. That's very specific.
It's very specific. So, you can figure out what that means for you. All right? Can I share some fun facts?
Yes.
Okay.
I love this.
So the first that we talk about the term the equinox is from equus, the equal in Latin, and night. Right, so equal day and night.
Oh, nox.
Like nox, yeah, or equal dark and light. And so. The idea being that's the point at which it's even, because that's when the sun is going over the midpoint of the earth. But a fun fact is that the further you are away from the equator, your day is still going to be longer. The sun will be the light part will still be longer, just because the sun takes longer to rise from your vantage point. So, if you're at like for Texas, it's pretty cool. And further south for us, it's pretty cool because we're very close to the equator. But then as you move further and further north, it's still not equal. It's more like 12 hours and 6 minutes to 12 hours and 16 minutes of daylight.
Oh, wow.
And chipping that off from the 12 hours from that.
That's pretty different.
Yeah, it's pretty different.
Yeah.
So that's one fun fact. And so I mentioned that it could be anywhere between the 21st and the 24th, but the 21st is super, super rare. Then the 24th as well. And in 2092 and 2096, those are the first days that the autumnal equinox will be on the 21st.
Wow.
And the last time that happened was 1000 CE.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that's pretty rare. Pretty rare.
That is pretty rare.
It's pretty rare. Yeah.
Stuff like that's cool.
I know, it's really cool. And this is another one. This one I didn't know, but I just found this. I was like looking for fun facts. And the fall equinox signals the start of the year, the time of the year that you can see the northern lights.
That's really cool.
That is really cool.
That's on my like things I want to do in this lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
See them.
Yeah. So you can go generally, obviously the further north, the easier, but I remember this past spring because of solar storms, or no, sorry, not solar storms, Earth electromagnetic storms. Normally it's from equinox to equinox, so like you stop seeing them around the spring equinox, but they went later and they were lower.
Oh wow!
Like people saw them, I think, in Missouri. I'm not Missouri. Sorry, Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
Not that far south, but Minnesota. I think it was April.
Wow, what a treat!
March and April. So that's another fun fact. And then this is one other fun fact. Everyone always talks about it being, the balanced point of the year, that you can balance an egg.
Or a broom.
Or a broom.
And I've seen people in the platform that we use as a circle to stay connected. I've seen people post pictures of the brooms balancing. I've never done it.
Yeah. But fun fact, you can do it anytime. Yes, you can.
What?
Yes. Well, I know with the egg, because I looked it up. I know with the egg, it depends more on how old the egg is and how long it's been cold. Whether you keep it cold or warm. That makes it easier to balance on the point. And with the broom, I know they said if it's a newer broom, it has less schmutz, and the angle of the bristles. Mm-hmm.
So it depends on if the broom or the egg is an elder.
Maybe.
It should be respected.
I know, exactly. So while there's all of this lore around that, you'll see that you could if you can do it, then you could probably do it other times too.
So that's just so interesting because people will be like, "Well, it's only ever worked on that day." Well, have you tried it on other days?
And that's what the article I found said. They only tried on that day.
Like, shoot, I can do it. And then you don't ever try scientific method, people. You need to try it on other days.
It's called a double blind, right? Exactly. So if you can balance an egg or a broom on the equinox, you can balance it the rest of the time too. So just be aware.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe have a party, get everyone. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and then just final fun fact is that many animal species respond to the change of light that usually occurs around the equinox because it's instinct. It either triggers migration, or they start eating differently so that if they're going to hibernation and things like that, or they start getting it on because they need to, you want to have your babies as old as possible in the spring so that they can fight off like predators.
Oh, okay.
The earlier they are, the older they are when the predators start attacking them is I think the thinking.
Okay.
So anyway, some fun facts.
There we go.
Yeah. So having said that, the equinox is pretty important, I think, to a lot of pagan cultures, just as probably a marker. But I didn't know if you'd like to talk a little bit more about, if we could talk a little bit more about like the ways in which they're important.
Yeah. So and I think this is true for me as a witch who I'm really focused on the elements and then on the cycles of the year, the marking of the wheel as it turns. So for me, the fall equinox, the autumnal equinox, is the date that to me it marks the beginning of the dark time of the year. And if we divide the year in half, it's like those cookies that are like dark on one side and white on the other side.
Oh yeah. I know which ones you're talking about.
But that's what it always reminds me of.
I know which one.
Of a cookie.
Yeah, I don't eat them myself, so I don't know the name. But
yeah, but I always see them and they're really pretty.
Yeah.
But so it reminds me of that. Like there's half of the year it's a dark time and half of the year is a light time. And so this is now, we reached that balance point. So now until we reach winter solstice, the days will grow shorter and the nights will grow longer. And for me, that is a relief. It's a celebration. I just feel more comfortable in the dark time of the year.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. The days actually started getting shorter and the nights longer in June. Mm-hmm. But because there's so much daylight, I don't really feel it. Mm-hmm. But this is a good marker because now I become much more aware. And I'm from further north, so the equinox had a lot more meaning than it does in San Antonio.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
it was I actually felt the weather usually changed about then. Mm-hmm. And so there, I could feel like the leaves turning colors and getting slightly cooler. Here, it is slightly
less hot.
It's less hot. Like instead of hundreds, we're in the 90s.
Yes,
so it's not quite as we feel it much later. So it's not directly connected to the equinox.
I like how you bring up that technically the days start getting shorter at summer solstice. Mm-hmm. I just disassociate between summer solstice and autumnal equinox. It just feels like I'm in purgatory. I'm just waiting for the dark time of the year.
The darker, hopefully cooler time
Please
of the year.
Dark time of the year.
Well, so can I explore that just a little bit, because we're talking about it in terms of weather and the way our bodies are responding. Would you hazard a guess that because we I reference. I'm going to suggest that I respond that way because I don't know if I do a lot of shadow work, but I love playing with shadow, and I love like the energies of the archetypes of the dark goddesses and all of the stuff that the hijinks that they get up to. So I'm wondering if that's something similar for you.
Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. It feels more like my soul is coming home during the dark time of the year. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I haven't super delved into this, but perhaps it has to do with my calling to being a witch, but it feels like that's where the work is done. That's where the magic happens. That's where the mystery is. And I want to be where the magic happens, the work is done, and the mystery is.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So I'm wondering, so how do you feel about the springtime? Like, what's the draw for what? So, what do you look forward to in the spring?
That it's still connected to the dark time of the year. It's the springtime is those last bites of that yummy dessert before it's you. I look at my plate and I'm like, I only have 3 bites left. Mm-hmm. I'm going to enjoy these 3 bites. I also really rock out on like new beginning energy. Like I am an extrovert, so I do like I do like that, but it's just because it's a part of the dark.
Okay. So I have to think about it. I guess for me, it's kind of so let's say I'm doing a whole lot of playing with the dark stuff and sliding and slip sliding in that energy, that maybe the spring for me is the flowering of some of that work. That's the place where we get to see the fruit, the blossoming fruit of our labors. Yeah. So it's almost like kind of like the harvest for us is in the spring or something. Yeah. Because when everyone else is like, okay, we're harvesting, we're like, yeah, we're just getting ready to do some work.
Let's get right. I'm cracking my knuckles. I'm doing that runner stretch and I'm getting ready to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
And I do know that our circle tends to, I don't want to speak for everyone, but our circle does really enjoy the dark time of the year, because it'll be like spring or summer and people will be like, can we sing this certain dark time of the year chant? And
everyone's like, okay. Why not?
It was like Christmas in July, the dark time of the year in July. It's fine.
That energy just it underpins everything, right?
It does.
So we might as well sing.
Yeah. And I know when I start seeing, so one of the ways I mark this, and this is such like a modern witch thing, but like I started getting the code oranges, like whenever stores start carrying Halloween stuff, that's like my Leilani as a member of like a consumer culture of the United States in 2025 Wheel of the Year marker.
So it's funny that you said that, the code orange, because I saw your sister over the weekend and she has a key. It's a keychain. No, you don't have the same. Yes, you do.
She bought it for me. And look.
Yes. So I'm going to describe it. It's a keychain that has it's a little cauldron with like little bubbles, plastic bubbles that change different colors. And hers is, and so is yours. It holds hand sanitizer, so you can put a bottle of hand sanitizer.
It's so cute, and when I press the button, it changes colors.
That was the sound of colors changing. I love how you both did it for the mic.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's the sound of colors. Yeah, it's green, purple. It's really, it's pretty cool. It's really cool.
It's so cute.
It's really cool. And so she was sharing, there were a number of people there, and she was sharing about Code Orange. Mm-hmm. So, which starts in what, July?
Code Orange technically starts on July 5th, the day after
4th of July.
4th of July.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So,
for people who... They're ready.
Yes,
they're ready.
I'm ready.
Yes, you are.
I am ready. I have been Code Oranging since the 5th of July.
Okay, but we're not there yet. Let's get through the.
But
you're prepping.
Yes, but Autumnal Equinox though is a point that it really marks the time when the stores are saturated with the Halloween stuff, and so I get to go and shop for all year long.
That's right. There you go. That's right, because you're a witch all year long.
I am a witch all year long.
Yes. So. Back to
okay, so like not commercial paganism, witchcraft, but like back to like the spiritual part. For me, it does really hold a lot about me reflecting on balance. Mm-hmm. How is the light and the dark balancing within me, or is it not in balance? Am I out of whack, or is it good that I'm not balanced right now? Just check. So for me, it's almost like running a system check to see how am I doing with this.
I love how you put that, because that's one of the things our circle does so well, is taking, something that happens every year and focusing on an element that is useful for the women at the time. So usually the facilitator will say, I'm feeling the need to do this. And a good third to 2/3 of the women later will say, oh, that's exactly what I needed to work on. And so this idea of balance and equilibrium and, drawing on that energy to work on ways in which we can find balance in our lives, I think is one of the things that we've done a number of times, and I love that. But there's also that idea of the balance between dark and light and playing with that. So there's balance in a number of different ways, but the ways in which our rituals can focus on various elements of them, I find, are so rich.
I think it's interesting too. At the autumn equinox, I tend to hear people talk about it's a balance between the light and the dark. Mm-hmm. And at other times of the year, I hear it framed more with it's the shortest day, or the sun's time is coming to be less, or the day is getting longer, or the sun is staying out longer. And there's a not a centering of the darkness.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
And so autumnal equinox is the first time where on this dark side of the year that I see the darkness being a part of it. And then from here on out, the darkness gets to be centered for me.
And it's actually in the name, equinox,
Equinox.
So yeah, equal night, so yeah, I never thought of it that way.
I think I'm going to start saying equinox.
Well, what's isn't that a Harry Potter spell? Nox. Like, so lumos is to make a light, and then nox is to extinguish the light.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So equinox. So there you go.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So other ways in which we many pagan groups approach equinoxes as the second harvest. So the first harvest usually being I guess it's hay in August, and then the second being things like, I guess, apples, pumpkins. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah.
Which I think people see a lot in, like, if you think about apple pies are normally cooked around this time of year. People go to like pumpkin. It's like ubiquitous to like take a, get a pumpkin spice latte and go to a pumpkin patch and take pictures with your boyfriend or something. But
thank you. Okay, so thank you for the insight.
And I think going to apple orchards and picking apples. But I think that's like the commercial side of it. But if I look back farther, then I see that that's the pumpkin patches, that's the apple orchards, that's when we would harvest those. For sure, yeah. But now it's just Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. It's like what it looks like. Yeah, yeah. So can I just, one of the things that I think is
I love, and I'd love it if we could sing it, is the equinox chant that we sing in our circle.
Yeah, do we know who wrote it?
It's by Marie Summerwood. It's called...
I don't know, we always call it like
the Equinox chant. Okay, maybe that's another name. But anyway, I'll start it. Onward we go round the spiral, touching darkness, touching light. Twice each turn we rest in balance. Make choices on this night. Make choices on this night. Yay! I love it.
I love that so much.
And it's this night. So
it is this night.
Yes, it's Nox.
Equinox.
So we have to remember that. But anyway.
I love that chant too because I love singing it. And as I sing it, I'm picturing myself standing on this wheel, and part of me is reaching into the light time of the year, and part of me is reaching into the dark. And I'm like balancing between the two, almost like there's a line down the center of me, and there's like a light and then the dark, and I'm like reaching, and I'm standing just for a moment, being able to look into both.
Yeah, I feel when we sing rest, twice each turn we rest in. I always get a feeling of suspension. Like for that one moment, it's, and then and we keep singing, and often we're walking when we do that, and I keep walking, but there's that, every time I get to that word, I feel like a moment of suspension.
Yeah,
it's magic. It literally is magic to me. So yeah, yay! Thank you for singing that with me.
You're welcome.
So one of the things we talk, there's a number of different rituals. Would you care to share a little bit about one of the rituals that we often do around the equinox in our circle?
Yes. So one of the things we do in our circle is we have a healing ritual around the time of the equinox, and I think there's a lot of wisdom to having a healing ritual. And one of the things that I think about it is that for so long, I think, and I think it's done in our culture too, healing is outside of me. Healing is something that I go to somewhere else to get. I buy a product, I see someone who's smarter than me, I see someone who has a degree, and I go get it. And in a lot of ways, that is true. Like, I'm a huge fan of vaccines, so like I'm not here to like judge modern science. And I think there's wisdom in knowing that we can also turn inward and find the healing within my family system, within my own body, within my own wisdom, within my own magic. And so in a lot of ways, it is like the equinox. It's that resting in that balance of when do I turn outward, when do I turn inward.
Ooh, yeah. I wasn't even thinking that, but that's a great point. I love that. I was thinking of a healed body being the ultimate balance, right?
Oh, geez, yeah. Yes.
If your body's totally in balance, it's So wow, I love it. Thank you. It's like two different kind of facets of the same.
Two different perspectives.
Two different perspectives.
I had never thought about that. Like if my body is in balance, it's in like a healed state, right? So I had never thought about. Like, no wonder our healing is supercharged on the equinox.
I'm gonna have to get used to that.
We'll be in ritual. Welcome to this equinox ritual.
Equinox.
I
love it. Yeah, I dare you. I double dog dare you. Because I believe it's your ritual.
It is my ritual. You'll be the only person that laughs that gets the joke.
Everyone's like, what the hell? What's wrong with her voice? So that's kind of one of the things that we do with our circle. I didn't know if you wanted to add any more about that before we hop into like what it means to us as individuals.
Yeah, I think the other thing I would like to add about our circle, or just the concept of practicing on the wheel, is that to me the autumnal equinox is tied to the spring equinox.
Oh, yes.
So whatever magic unfolds around the autumnal equinox, it's connected to, I see a string going across the wheel. It's connected to whatever magic we do, or I do, or whatever state I'm in on that other side too. There's a connection there.
Right. I love that. And that they're, again, like two faces of the same coin, or two faces of the same coin. So thank you. One of the other things I'd like to just mention in passing is, so we're calling it the spring equinox. A lot of times, a lot of the terms you'll hear in many witchy circles tend to be, I guess, kind of Celtic influenced or European. So you'll hear Astara for spring, Lammas, which is more Christian than, or Lunasad or whatever. And then there's Mabon. Have we talked about this at all?
I can't remember. I know we've talked about it, but I don't know if
we've talked about it on the episode.
Yeah.
So apparently, I don't know, in the early 20th century, a group of witchy people decided they needed, these Sabbats needed names. And so somehow someone came up with Mabon because I think it's connected to a Gaelic or Welsh god, and then just made up the name. And has, like, no one, if you talk to any, say, places like in Ireland where they still have some connections with their old rituals, or even Wales or Scotland where they have, no one's ever heard of the term before. It's kind of like, what? Some old white guy just made up this term, and everyone says Mabon. Not everyone, but
it really annoys me. It really annoys me, and I think this is perfectly connected to talking about the autumnal equinox, because for me, that's one of the reasons why there's so much power in me returning to celebrating and honoring and witnessing the turning of the wheel.
Right.
And the turning of the wheel is the longest night and the longest day, and then the equinoxes. Like, it's just so tied into this truth.
This our earth being itself.
It is.
Like, and celebrating our earth.
Our earth is earthing, and I am witnessing the earth, and the sun. And
oh, I love it.
And that is, no, like, white dude can make up a story. I mean, he can. And then all of a sudden name it something, that doesn't exist, because this exists because the earth is earthing.
Exactly. I love it.
And there's something, for me, so sacred about going back to something so simple, but also so profound.
Yes.
And witnessing that year after year,
right.
Season after season. There's a truth there that I feel like can be faked or lost with some other stuff. And I'm not throwing shade, because, like, believe me, I have some fun at some Beltane rituals, and I love some good Samhain rituals. So like, I'm not throwing shade there. There's just a specialness about the equinoxes for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically, it's kind of like celebrating oneself. Yeah, I exist. The earth exists, and it's doing this wonderful thing at this one moment in time. This thing is happening. Yay! Let's make it a party.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's make it a party.
That's So I love that the earth earthing and the sun sunning. And Leilani's Leilani.
I am.
I love it. I'm gonna have to try to remember that. It's like what's his name? Beaching. Beach.
Yes.
I'm what did
my
you do?
job is beach.
Beach.
Ken and Barbie
Get
movie.
him in the Barbie
right?
movie. Yes.
And as a witch, my job is equinox.
Equinox.
My job is solstice.
I love it. So we have to remember to just essentialize.
Yeah.
Yeah,
at some point that is true, right?
Exactly. Good.
Would you like to share some of your individual experiences?
Yeah, so the equinox to me, recognizing that I'm from the East Coast, up north, and by the time we got to the equinox, you could start to feel the difference in the. I mean, it wasn't like super super cool, but you could tell that it was a little bit different, and it's also tied in to September for me. So September is my birthday's in September. In at least back when I was teaching in the grades. In New Jersey, school started in September. So like this August nonsense, it was. We didn't do that. We started after Labor Day.
It is nonsense.
It is. I mean, you guys. Every time I talk to you, it's like you're starting earlier and earlier. Soon you just won't be leaving.
Just stay there. Forever.
I know, you just like have a weekend off or something. Go somewhere and then come back. But anyway, so school started. So there was this sense of moving into something new. Really moving into something new that was supported by. And kind of highlighted by how the culture around me was moving towards that. So the equinox also for me, because it was so close to my birthday, was often a time for reflection. I would do divination there. So now we have a mutual friend who will be doing my astrological chart. We do that every year. So that this is as and for me, it's because I think a lot of it is because we're moving into this dark time of the year, the time for reflection. My year card is the Hierophant. I mean, my personal card is the life card is the Hierophant. So I'm always looking at like what makes me work and what, how do I live and how do I be me? And so the equinox is kind of a marker of that for me. Also, back in the day, I know we can't do that anymore, but back in the day, you'd break up all your leaves and have like little mini bonfires.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I try to have one out in my backyard, small one, because I think they're probably illegal, but it was an actual change for me. It was something that was different that I don't get with midsummer, that I don't get with the summer solstice, because the summer solstice is just much of a muchness. It's already hot. It's gonna get hotter.
Much of a muchness.
But it's gonna get hotter. But it's you're already in the summer. It's midsummer really. Whereas the equinox for me is an actual marker of change. So that's that I see. So. They're all markers of change, right? But this is one that I feel as if my culture allows me, the dominant culture actually allows me a moment to spend on that, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And I really love the way you're pointing out, like, at the point of the solstice, we're just marking the time within the summer, right? Or we're marking the time within the winter. But with the equinox, to me, it is a changing. And of course, we're marking time for all of them.
Yeah,
it feels more changey to me. It feels more like a turning to me. And the other one feels more like a benchmark, but less of an active. And believe me, I love my solstices. I've just spent time in this episode preaching about how much I love solstices. And there's something really unique about the equinox and that feeling of crossing.
Yeah. That moment, there's like, we were that, now we're that. And so being able to celebrate that to me is really special. Yeah.
And for me, like in my personal practice, it's that energy that can really fuel and deepen my magic.
Oh, yes.
And riding on that magic in my life, in that energy, riding that in my life and in my own magical practice, it's just like, to me, it feels like a current in the ocean, surfing in it. Like, I'm just going to hop on this energy current because it's already generated, because the earth is earthing and the sun is sunning. So it's already generated. So I just get to tap into this really powerful current that's already going.
Right. For that moment. I mean, hopefully for longer than that moment, but yeah.
For that moment, and then it's tied, and then it comes around and it's tied back over into the spring equinox. And
you ride it through the solstice. And,
yep.
Oh, beautiful.
I just had that image of Finding Nemo whenever they're riding with the turtles, the sea turtles, when they catch that current. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, okay.
Holy Sacred Finding Nemo.
Turtle surfing.
Yeah.
We do what we must. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the poem that we're going to read doesn't have a title, but it does have a really kick-ass first line. Would you care to share that with us?
O sacred season of autumn, be my teacher.
Ugh. So it's by Edward Hayes, not to be confused with Rutherford B. Hayes.
As far as we know, no relation.
No relation. But he kind of looks like him. He's a Catholic priest. He was a Catholic priest. But he was a writer, and someone noted that he was the creator of vivid parables, psalms, and stories, and also called him an artist of prayer.
And I'd like to think, artist of prayer, first of all, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to think, based on his writings and like looking at some of his stuff online, he seems like a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, I might want to party with him.
I think, I could imagine having coffee with him, and it might be really interesting.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is true for all people that had his job.
No.
So like, he seems
very diplomatically put.
You. But he seems like he seems like he was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah. I just wanted to say this. Just someone wrote this about his last blog post. He he was contemplating, I guess he knew that he was going to pass, and he was contemplating what he called the door of death. And he proposed new final words for the dying Jesus, quoting Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, "I'm going out dancing among the galaxies." Those were his last written words.
And I gotta say, I'm writing that down because I want to dance in the galaxies. But Elizabeth Kubler-Ross is really cool. So if this guy is dying and quoting Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, he's won me over already. So
yeah.
So yeah.
So let's read this poem.
Let's read his poem. O sacred season of autumn, be my teacher, for I wish to learn the virtue of contentment. As I gaze upon your full-colored beauty, I sense all about you, and at homeness with your amber riches.
You are the season of retirement, of full barns and harvested fields. The cycle of growth has ceased, and the busy work of giving life is now completed. I sense in you no regrets. You've lived a full life.
I live in a society that is ever restless, always eager for more mountains to climb, seeking happiness through more and more possessions. As a child of my culture, I am seldom truly at peace with what I have. Teach me to take stock of what I have given and received. May I know that it's enough, that my striving can cease in the abundance of God's grace.
May I know the contentment that allows the totality of my energies to come to full flower. May I know that, like you, I am rich beyond measure. As you, O autumn, take pleasure in your great bounty, let me also take delight in the abundance of the simple things in life, which are the true source of joy.
With the golden glow of peaceful contentment, may I truly appreciate this autumn day.
Beautiful poem.
Really, really beautiful.
Thank you, Edward Hayes.
Edward Hayes.
Not to be confused with
the
Rutherford B.
B.
And thank you so much for joining us as we ruminate on this season that is very special.
Thank you. We hope you have enjoyed the magic that has unfolded here at Witchy Wit.
It would be great if you would help make Witchy Wit possible and get access to exclusive content by donating on Patreon.
We'd love it if you join our Witchy community and enjoy shareable content on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Would you do us a big favor and support us by rating and reviewing us wherever you get your podcasts? It's free and helps witchy folks find us.
Feel free to email us at witchywitpodcast@gmail.com. We love to hear from our community. Reach out and let us know what's brewing in your cauldron.
New episodes are released every second and fourth Friday. Follow us on your favorite podcasting platform so our episodes go right to your playlist. You can listen as you ride your broom.
Stay witchy, y'all!